Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Adebisi Daudu, known as Shalom as an author. In today's video caps, we'll be looking into the Living Beyond the Limits program module 1 series 4. Also, as I've used to say, in each series I used to look into the summary objective of the programs, the overall objective of the programs. But in today's series 4, let's look into the summary. The Living Beyond the Limit modules programs is based on faith building, spiritual growth, and motivations that will enable the recipient of the modules programs on how to understand or have an understanding of the mechanisms that will enable them to live beyond the limits and limitations. To be imparted with the mechanisms which are involved with the module programs will enable them to live beyond the limits and limitations of life. Now let's look into the objectives of the programs. The imparted are emotionally self-sufficient, using program modules living beyond the limits to impart into the non-emotional self-sufficient. Now let's also look into the overall of the objectives of today's programs. Being emotionally self-sufficient is the beginning of creations and achieving destiny and purpose in life. Meanwhile, let's look into the objectives, outcome, skills, and knowledge of the Series 4 module program of today, which reads: understanding spirituality, when and where is adequately appropriate to utilize spirituality. The outcome, deliverance and achieving purpose. The skills of today's series is also deliverance. In other words, the knowledge of the series, knowing the source of deliverance. In the last week, the recap of the last week of the series 3 also read: the first fundamental principles of first in force in living beyond the limit or limitation is to be in the family of God and to imitate Christ. This is the recap of the last week series 3 of the Living Beyond the Limit programs. Now let's go into the today's series 4, and it says, how can one break the yoke of limit and limitation of one? Now there's a Bible verse for us in the book of 1 Chronicle 4:9, and it reads: now Jabez was more honorable than his brethren, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bear him in pain. Meaning, whatever that may seem a mountain to climb, if there's any, or challenges which such is beyond your reasons, take it to Jesus, is the yoke breaker. Now there's a kind of example for us again. It's who is the yoke breaker? An example was the life of Jabez, in where we read in the book of 1 Chronicle 4:9 that says, now Jabez was more honorable than his brethren, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bear him in pain. Now, then let's go into the example. Jabez acknowledged, or having an understanding of that for him to move forward in life or to achieve his purpose in his lifetime, he has to break the yoke of limits and limitations that have been resisting him not to live in the atmospheres of great achievers. Meanwhile, in 1 Chronicle 4:10, and Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, oh, that thou wouldest bless me indeed, and enlarge my coast, and that thy hand might be with me, and that thou wouldest keep me from evil, that it may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he requested. Also, there's a kind of a question. So, what did Jesus mean by taking my yoke upon you? Let me say it again. Say, what did Jesus mean by taking my yoke upon you? As I used to say in the 3 series back, there's always a end of program for us. In today's end of program module 4, it says module 4 enable one to utilize spirituality in time of difficulties and challenges. Also, in other words, we have a questions. I don't know if you have a question that you would like to ask. You can leave a comment or a question below on the YouTube channel. Then I'll be able to interact, also to share more light on how you can achieve the sources to live beyond limitations. We have a post-assessment. Assessment 1 says, have you undergo deliverance? 2 is, when last have you utilized spirituality in the spiritual situations? And lastly, are you a born-again Christian? Well, these are the end, the post-assessment. As I'll be bringing the program to an end now, I don't know if you would like to ask a question, also to check my work or my book which I've written. You can click on the link on my YouTube page that will take you to my website, which you can access my book. Also, I know by you doing that, you will get more information on how to live beyond the limit and limitation. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.